this is Dr. Live with New Insight, and thank you so much for joining me in another video. Today's video is about workplace stress, so let's hear the story of Janice. Janice was new to the company, but not new to her profession. After years of hard work and experience, she had finally landed a position with a higher salary, better benefits, and more responsibility. It was exactly what she needed for herself and her family. Things had been difficult financially. Her husband had recently been laid off, and with 2 children at home, the pressure was heavy. This job wasn't just a career move for Janice. It was stability, security, and relief. During her first few weeks, everyone seemed welcoming and excited to have her on the team. Her coworkers praised her experience, complimented her ideas, and appeared genuinely impressed by her skills and expertise. For the first time in a long time, Janice felt hopeful, confident, and proud. But as she settled into her role, she quickly began noticing problems within the company's operations. There were communication gaps, outdated systems, and workflow issues that slowed productivity and created unnecessary stress. Since her performance would eventually be judged by results, Janice decided to speak up. She shared her ideas with management. She sent emails. She asked questions during meetings. She recommended solutions that she believed would improve efficiency for everyone. Her manager assured her that her concerns would be addressed. However, nothing changed. Weeks passed, and slowly the atmosphere around Janice began to shift. The same people who once welcomed her ideas now seemed irritated by them. Conversations became short and dismissive. Emails went unanswered. Meetings became uncomfortable. Janice began feeling less like a valued employee and more like someone hired simply to increase business and revenue without being given the proper support, training, or tools needed to succeed. The frustration started building. She had been hired to do a job, but wasn't being properly supported to do it. As if work stress wasn't enough, another issue began making Janice increasingly uncomfortable. A male coworker, someone in a higher position whom she reported to directly, started behaving inappropriately around her. At first, it seemed subtle, inappropriate jokes, comments that felt too personal, lingering conversations. Janice tried to remain polite and professional. She made small talk out of courtesy, hoping not to create tension. However, the behavior escalated. He began stopping by her office unexpectedly, asking her out to lunch, questioning her about her personal life, invading her space more and more. Janice felt trapped. She was new. She needed the job. She didn't want to appear difficult, weak, needy, or incapable. So instead of confronting the situation directly, Janice tried to endure it quietly while continuing to prove herself at work. But internally, Janice was exhausted, mentally drained, emotionally overwhelmed, and by the time she got home each day, she was irritable, distracted, and emotionally unavailable. Even when sitting beside her husband and children, her mind was somewhere else. And she still hadn't told her husband what was happening. She knew he was already stressed while searching for work. She didn't want him to feel worse. She didn't want him thinking she was complaining about a job she had fought so hard to get. And she especially didn't want him becoming angry about the male coworker or questioning whether she had somehow encouraged the attention. So Janice carried the stress alone, trying to balance being a wife, a mother, and a full-time employee while silently suppressing everything she was feeling. And slowly, the pressure begins spilling into every area of her life. Self-reflection questions. Have you ever experienced workplace stress? How did it affect you physically, mentally, or emotionally? How did you cope with it? What do you think Janice should do in this situation? The key takeaway is this: no matter how uncomfortable a situation may feel, you still have the right to advocate for yourself and to set boundaries. Do not allow anxiety, fear, guilt, or negative thoughts to convince you to stay silent when something feels wrong. Make your needs, concerns, and expectations known, because when stress is constantly ignored and internalized, it does not disappear, it builds, and eventually that emotional pressure spills over into your mental health, physical health, relationships, and daily life. The longer issues are avoided and suppressed, the heavier they become. If you find yourself in a situation similar to Janice, start by documenting important conversations, incidents, emails, and concerns. Keeping records can help you feel more organized, validated, and prepared if problems continue. Don't isolate yourself emotionally. Speak with someone you trust, whether it's a supportive partner, friend, mentor, therapist, or HR representative. Carrying stress alone often intensifies anxiety and emotional exhaustion. Remember that professionalism does not require silence. You can be respectful while still being assertive, firm, and clear about your boundaries. Protecting your mental and emotional well-being is not weakness, it is necessary. A healthy work environment should not require you to sacrifice your peace, dignity, safety, or sense of self in order to succeed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.